Strange videos have been showing up on the internet that viewers can't stop watching. Terrifying creatures caught on camera. Strange humanoids and organisms so bizarre they can't be explained. Each clip feels more unsettling than the last. This might be one of the most alarming videos ever. It was uploaded on Facebook by a user who'd been staying at a hotel in Thailand. When he'd gone to the hotel's pool, she found this bizarre blob-like creature. The strange lump had human-like features and strange appendages that looked like hands. Its features were even moving, which made her believe that this couldn't be a silicone prop either. She'd mentioned in a post that the discovery had unsettled her so much that he'd left the lumpy creature right where she had found it. Strange mutation. A man from Argentina found one of the strangest figures in the basement of his home. At first, he thought it was just a stray animal that had slipped in for shelter, but when he looked closer, he realized it had a face like a man. Its body was covered in tangled hair with unusual limbs, which made it even creepier. He didn't know how to approach it, so he just recorded it and asked netizens what it could be. Some of the viewers told him to contact a zoologist because it could be a strange scientific mutation, but the uploader didn't give any updates after that. River werewolf. This video was uploaded on the YouTube channel Sayas Rivera Stories, and the uploader claimed to have found a real werewolf. When Sayas was visiting the village of Covarrubias in Spain, he found an unusual-looking man in the Arlanza River. From afar, the figure seemed to be covered in thick gray fur, making him look like a werewolf caught mid-transformation. He and his team approached the man, who told them that he'd been like that since birth. But the fur looked too strange to be a birth defect. Do you think he was telling the truth or hiding a secret? Horrifying parasite. A woman shared this video on Reddit and said she'd bought bananas from a new store near her house. The next morning, she woke up to her dog barking loudly. When she went to the kitchen, she found out what was making the dog so agitated. Something was terribly wrong with one of the bananas. Creepy, meaty tentacles were writhing out as if a parasitic creature had eaten through the fruit and was now crawling out of its host. The sight was too disturbing. But the woman never gave any update, leaving people unsure if it was real or a hoax. Flexible man. Something really strange is happening in this video that's been going viral on several platforms. The clip shows a man pulling at his skin, but what makes it so creepy is how far it stretches like rubber. It's not only his face, his throat and limbs are also unnaturally stretchy. Viewers were shocked as it looked nothing like normal human skin. Could he be living with some rare medical condition? Or is there a chance he is not really human? Alien rock. The video shows the early stages of the enigmatic creature we talked about in one of the previous clips. When TikToker Kin Panama had found it, it had seemed like an ordinary meteorite, but he was wrong. Just a few days later, the strange organism started to grow out of it. It had moving tentacles. The man kept it secure inside a glass container, and the most terrifying part is that the organism kept growing bigger and bigger every day. He'd even asked viewers if they knew what it was, but they were even more confused. Some viewers even believed that he might have found an alien that had fallen to our planet.
Si alguien me pudiera decir qué es, qué está creciendo ahí en mi piedra.
Possessed man. Last year, a customer in Durham, North Carolina, captured this haunting moment inside a restaurant. A strange man had walked in, but he was no customer. He just stood there, his head tilted back with his mouth wide open, like he was either possessed or in a trance. But the scariest part was his eyes. They were completely white, with no pupils at all. It could not have been caused by any illegal substance, because eyes do not turn pure white that way. Such a look is often linked to a possession. The staff was too terrified to approach him, and 20 minutes after the customer stopped recording, he walked out on his own. Pulsing fruit. Here's one of the most disturbing clips that's going viral. It was uploaded by an anonymous source, and it shows a banana being peeled by someone, but something was very wrong with it. The fruit was pulsating as if it had a heartbeat. What's even more shocking is that it seemed to crawl slowly like a worm. The video crossed more than 1 million views as people rushed to give their theories, saying it could be a parasite hidden in the fruit, or even a secret lab experiment. But without a proper source of information, the mystery remains unsolved. Hooved man. In 2019, a man from the village of Badarwa in India went out late at night. As he was walking, he noticed an old man on the road. Thinking the stranger needed help, he walked closer. But this was no ordinary old man. His lower body ended in hooves. The encounter turned more disturbing when the old man began chasing after him. The man managed to escape and later shared the terrifying encounter online. Viewers said that he might have encountered a real skinwalker or shapeshifter, and another viewer from Ghana even shared a video saying he had faced a similar encounter recently. Alien transportation. One morning in Houston, Texas, a man named Daniel Smith was driving to work when he saw something he would never forget. He was a transparent tank truck, and inside the clear container were some dark, terrifying forms. They were floating in some sort of liquid and had long black tendrils. To Daniel, it looked as if some alien creatures were being transported to a lab, and they weren't even trying to hide them. He kept driving. But even as he reached work, the disturbing sight stayed in his mind. Unidentified creature. In 2023, a woman named Emily Miller from Portland, Oregon, uploaded a video after discovering this odd creature in her backyard. At first, she thought it was just a premature bird, but when she held it closer, she realized it was far too unusual. Its body was almost transparent. There were no places for eyes on its head. It had a massive beak that looked out of proportion. Emily admitted she was unsettled by the unidentified creature. Yet since she was a veterinarian, she still fed it. She believed only time would reveal what this mysterious creature would grow into. Strange entity. What is that? A stall owner named Ramesh Choudhary from Rajasthan, India, shared a video that left viewers unsettled. An odd-looking figure appeared on the street, dressed in bright-colored robes. Its face looked strange. The features were too sharp and unnatural. Its tall, conical head was even more bizarre. Even the way it walked was unusual. It had a limp that looked like it did not know how to walk normally. The figure didn't interact with anyone. It just kept moving down the street and seemed like it was searching for something or someone. Dark truth.
Estudos para eliminar.
The truth might be slipping out, or maybe they are not able to hide it anymore. During a live TV speech, the former president of Brazil, Michel Temer, suddenly started to change. His voice turned deep and terrifying.
Já estão.
And his face began to shift. His lip curled into an evil grin, almost like he couldn't control it. Soon, this moment became viral, and viewers started wondering if the camera had revealed his hidden identity. Could it be that he wasn't exactly human, but a reptilian in disguise? It is believed that reptilians live among us, and maybe this time, the camera finally exposed it.
Já estão encomendados.
Winged horse. Here's one of the most confusing videos you will ever see. It was said to be recorded in the village of Malakasi, Greece, by a farmer who claimed to be experimenting with animal hybrids. It shows a brown horse in a farm, with massive gray wings attached to its back. According to him, he hoped to create his own version of the mythical Pegasus. The farmer was never explained how he managed this, or if this hybrid horse survived for long. but the video does make viewers speculate if such experiments could take evolution to new heights. What do you think about this? Cow transformation. This strange video came from South Africa, where a man named Abeba Kumalo suddenly began acting terrified in the middle of the street. As people gathered around, they could not believe what they were seeing. His legs were no longer normal, because they ended in cow-like hooves. A tail even started growing out, and the man seemed to be mooing helplessly. Everyone was in shock, and no one really knew what to do. However, there were no further details shared with the video. So we cannot know if Abeba had really transformed, or if this was just a prank. Reptilians in disguise. A video of Angelina Jolie went viral, not for fame, but for something much more disturbing. If you look closely, her hands seem bent at odd angles, like they do not quite belong to a human. The fingers look longer than usual, almost claw-like. More such clips have been popping up, like one of Georgina Rodriguez. She appears to hide her hands inside her sleeves, maybe because they are about to transform into reptilian claws. Most of these clips all show high-profile people with such traits, which might prove that reptilians have been trying to infiltrate positions of high power, and now, thanks to cameras, their infiltration can no longer stay hidden. Alien entity.
A ver cómo está.
This footage started off feeling strange from the very beginning. The cameraman stepped into an old house that was far too dark. He walked towards a small safe, and when he opened it, there was something terrifying inside it. It was a disfigured dark mass of shifting tendrils, and the terrifying part was that it was moving. According to the Post, the man had found a meteorite in a remote area, and days later, this creature began growing from it. Could it be an alien life form?
Wow, está grande.
Restaurant nightmare. After finding out about a newly opened restaurant in New York, a woman named Sarah John went to try their food. But when her stomach began to churn, she went to the kitchen to complain about the food. And that's when she noticed something that made her throw up. Right on the counter was a terrifying paw. It didn't seem to have any skin, as if it was left out to defrost and cook. It wasn't even clear which animal it belonged to. She quickly recorded a video as evidence. Sarah later revealed that she pressed charges for health violations and public safety, but didn't mention the restaurant's name. Giant dog.
Wow.
Who would have thought a dog could grow this big? A TikTok user shared a clip of his uncle's dog, named Titan, from the countryside of Ireland. The moment people saw it, they were incredibly shocked. Titan stood nearly as tall as his uncle, and it was mentioned in the post that the man himself was almost 6 feet. The dog's massive size made it look almost unreal, which is why some viewers even thought this could be edited. And no known breed grows this tall either. So, do you think his uncle could have really raised such a massive animal? Or was it editing? Enigmatic entity. This video shows the same creature that TikTok user Kin Panama had found. And just as I promised in one of our previous videos, this is the update. After keeping the ever-growing creature in a safe for so long, he no longer knew what to do with it. So, he went to an abandoned building that was flooded with drainage water and discarded it there. The entity started swimming in the water immediately. Its black tendrils were floating behind. When he shared this update on TikTok, viewers became more concerned that he had released it so openly. They were wondering what would happen if it ended up growing into something far more dangerous. Sink pipe horror. After discovering their kitchen sink was clogged, a family in Indonesia decided to check under it, and what they found was horrifying. When they removed the pipe, they found thousands of worms clumped together. They were sliding out like long, meaty strands. Grayish blobs peeked through, which looked like their heads. After seeing it, the family not only called pest control to get rid of them, but also hired a plumber to replace the entire kitchen drainage system. Enigmatic woman. This video of a TikToker is spreading quickly across the internet. She can be seen sticking out an extremely long tongue. It was so long that it almost seemed reptilian. After she uploaded this video on her TikTok page, Moriah17art, viewers immediately started calling her a real reptilian. For years, there have been conspiracy theories online that say reptilians live among us, trying to look like humans. But according to the theories, no matter how hard they try to hide, some features give them away. After seeing her show off that tongue so openly, it seems that maybe the conspiracies had some truth, and perhaps they weren't even trying to hide themselves anymore. Bizarre sea creature. In 2021, when a marine biologist was feeding fish in Stowe Lake, San Francisco, something unexpected swam toward him. At first, it looked like a face was moving his way. From one angle, it looked human. From another, it looked like a sheep, but it was neither of them. As it came closer to take the fish from his hand, he noticed it had tentacles like a squid. However, no type of squid looks like this. Instead of getting scared by it, his sense of curiosity took over, and he started wondering what kind of sea creature it might be. Garage monster. Last year, a freelance journalist named Nate Williams thought getting a house for cheap would be a good idea. Well, he was wrong. Before buying it, he'd checked every room, but not the garage. So when he went there after moving in, he found a mysterious box. What he saw made him scream in fear. There was a carcass of a horrifying creature inside it. It was dark gray, as if covered in ash. Its mouth was covered with long, sharp teeth. It looked like some sort of ancient monster. That same day, he asked the landlord for answers, but he gave no explanations. So, he ended the contract. Floating man. On the 15th of July, 2021, a hiker named Javier Morales was exploring the Sierra de Cacoma Mountains in Mexico when he captured one of the most unbelievable sights ever. He saw a man hovering in the air. He wasn't falling or rising. He was just frozen in one place and position. After Javier recorded the scene and later uploaded the video online, he even added that during his entire time there, the man did not move even an inch. In the comments, one viewer wrote that it could be a zipline, but Javier replied that there was no zipline facility in that particular spot. Forest encounter. Sometimes it's better not to be too curious, and this video is proof. A biker named Owen Castillo was exploring the Pine Barrens when he came across a pile of bones. He kept going until he found a fallen tree blocking the path. Soon he thought he heard movement in the distance, made him uneasy. So he turned around. However, after some time, he returned on the same path, and this time, the fallen tree was gone. He went deeper, but then everything went quiet. That's when he noticed a terrifying pale figure watching him from a distance. It looked like a rake. That's when he decided to turn around and leave for good. Leaked secret ritual. The following footage was never meant to go public. It surfaced on a private forum back in 2017 and is said to show a disturbing ritual deep in a forest in Montenegro. The group is believed to be the Ember Circle, a secret cult rumored to be active across Eastern Europe. The group keeps staring at the floating dark figures, and the pentagram is believed to summon demonic entities. Locals had even reported strange sounds and lights for weeks, but police brushed it off. Authorities deny its authenticity, but maybe they're just trying to get us to look the other way. Haunted encounter. In Oman, a man thought it would be exciting to become a paranormal investigator. So he stepped into an old abandoned building nearby. At first it seemed quiet, but only 15 minutes later, he came face to face with a terrifying female figure. She had extremely long hair, and she appeared to be levitating in the air. Before he could even process what he was seeing, she suddenly flew upward and disappeared right through the ceiling. That was the moment he realized this field was far too frightening for him, and he ended his investigation right away.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Mysterious forest creature. When a group of men in the Philippines were walking through Sierra Madre forest, they spotted a creature high in a tree. From that distance, its ears and furry body vaguely resembled a red panda. But it couldn't be that, because red pandas are never found in the Philippines, which made this creature really mysterious. They filmed it from far away and left it alone, since they didn't know if it was safe to approach it. Dragon-like creature. While hiking through the Jichaigu Valley in China, a traveler named Mark D'Souza spotted the most shocking creature on land. It had a dragon-like head and a long, serpentine body. This wasn't just a one-time sighting, because he was even more shocked when he found more of these bizarre creatures in that area, some even swimming in water. Although he was used to seeing diverse creatures during his hiking trips, he had never seen this species in his life. He was so unsettled that he avoided both the trails and streams for the rest of his hike. Live shapeshifter. Did this camera catch a real shapeshifter? A news reporter was live when something unusual started to happen. If you look closely, you'll see that her neck began expanding and thickening in a very odd way. It looked like she was about to transform right then and there. But the reporter did not react at all, which could mean that it might be a camera error. Or maybe she really was a shapeshifter who wasn't aware that her mask was slowly slipping on camera. Terrifying entity. You'll be terrified after seeing this video. A man was driving late at night towards San Miguel village in Spain to visit a friend. But after taking a wrong turn, he stopped his car to check the map. That was when a horrifying entity appeared outside his window. Its face was as dark as the night, and its glowing eyes were pure red. The way it stared directly at the driver was bone-chilling. The fear was too overwhelming, so he drove away fast and went back towards his city, and decided he would set off on the journey again during the daytime. Glowing sky figure. This footage shows something truly unbelievable. As a truck driver named Miguel Herrera was driving through rural Mexico late at night when he noticed a strange glow above him. It was meant to be a new moon, so the glow made him confused. When he looked carefully, his confusion turned into fear. The glow resembled a human-like shape floating in the sky. It clearly had legs, a head, and seemed to be wearing robes. His mind filled with different possible explanations, but none of them made sense. Was it a godlike figure, an angel, or something even more mysterious watching from above? You decide. Elevator ghost. In Los Angeles, California, a woman named Sophie Avery was recording a TikTok video in an elevator before heading to a party. She smiled into the camera, having no idea what was being captured behind her. There was a terrifying face right behind here. Only part of it was visible, but it was clearly looking directly at her phone's screen. She only noticed it later when she was replaying the video, and she was terrified by how close the face seemed. She even emphasized that she'd been completely alone in the elevator, which meant the horrifying face must have belonged to a ghost. Mirror figure.
Alles Liebe zum Geburtstag, Mama!
In Germany, 3 siblings were recording a video after a birthday party. Everything seemed normal, but by the end, the mirror behind them suddenly dropped. They were startled, so they checked the video to find out what had made it fall. That's when they noticed something truly shocking. In the mirror's reflection, a smoky, human-shaped figure appeared, and it even seemed to have wings. For a brief moment, it looked directly at them. Then, as it went out of view, the mirror fell. When they uploaded the video, they admitted it had scared them. But deep down, they believed it could have been a guardian angel.
Alles Liebe zum Geburtstag, Mama.
Disguised evil entity. What would you do if you found your mother doing this? In 2019, a young woman was staying at her mother's home. One night, she started hearing loud sounds from the kitchen. She followed the noise, only to find her mother slamming the oven door repeatedly. She was really scared because her mother would never behave this way. She called out to her, "Ma?" But when she turned, her expression was twisted and wrong. The daughter realized that either her mother was possessed, or this was a demonic entity disguised as her. So, she ran to her room and locked herself until the banging stopped. Ma? Mysterious orbs. In Richmond, Virginia, a resident noticed a bright orb suddenly appear in the cloudy night sky. Since it was a bit cloudy and no stars were visible, he grew suspicious and pointed a laser at it. The moment the beam touched it, the orb vanished completely. This proved his suspicions that this was something truly mysterious. But only moments later, more glowing orbs appeared in the sky. They began blinking in and out of view. The man grew terrified, because if these weren't stars, what could they be? He was convinced that something mysterious was happening above Richmond that night.
You see that, Coach Q? They are all over the place.
Levitating man. The following footage shocked everyone online, and it is easy to see why. In an open field in Kansas, a man set up a camera and then lay down holding a rope in his hands. That's when the extraordinary happened. He began to levitate mysteriously into the air. His body shifted into a vertical position, and then he started spinning the rope around himself. It almost seemed like he was proving there were no strings or wires attached to keep him floating. Could this man really have a hidden superpower? Or was it simply a trick? Hidden parasite. In this footage, a man poured water over a praying mantis, and what followed after is truly horrifying. A thin, dark tendril began to emerge from inside the insect. It appeared to be some kind of terrifying parasite that had been hiding inside the insect all along. The liquid seemed to have forced it out, and the parasite kept writhing as it left the host completely. It's shocking to imagine how such a long organism was able to survive inside a small praying mantis. Now it's time for the most unsettling video of today. The following video has its critics because it's too strange. It shows a horrifying creature lying on a messy floor. The head looks like that of a man, but the rest of its appearance is far from human. Instead of having legs below the torso, the entire being is covered in multiple arms. The arms move in sync, like the legs of a spider. The sight is so disturbing that viewers are unsure what to believe. Many viewers think it's digitally altered, but some of them do believe that it might be the result of some unknown mutation. What do you believe?